Java, welcome to section 4.5. We skipped section 4.4 because it was unnecessary and we needed some time anyway. So in section 4.5, things are really quite easy, and I know you've done this before because I've seen you do it before. So I know you're going to be really good at it and it'll go really quickly. I'm not even going to show you a lot of examples, just one of each kind, so we can move on. You can go ahead and finish all your homework, which would be great. Think of how fast you'll be. So, I know that this is not how you learned it, that you probably learned a part over whole equals percent over 100. Or you probably learned that when you have this particular kind of problem, you do it this way. When you have this particular kind of problem, you do it that way. When you have this particular kind of problem, you do it that way. But this is the way that I teach it, and this is the way that covers everything all at once and lets you do it all at one time. And I know you can handle this math, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and capitalize on it. Whenever you get a problem like this, or even if it's slightly more complicated, you can still see that there's a percent issue in it, and if they're asking you about a part or whole kind of thing, you can automatically go to the magic percent formula, which is what my mommy calls it. Mommies are always awesome. My mommy calls this the magic percent formula. It's is over of equals percent over 100. If you haven't memorized it, memorize it. It is magic, I promise you. So when we're doing problem number 8, all we have to do is plug in the numbers where they say they go. So it says 30 is. So that means 30 must be my is. So instead of me writing is in that spot, I'm going to write 30. And then instead of me writing of, I'm going to write what's beside the of, which is 35. They didn't tell me a percent. That's what we're looking for. That's why it becomes my x. And then the 100 is always 100. Then you can grab your handy dandy calculator, because who wouldn't want to use a calculator for this? In order to solve this, all you have to do is cross multiply. So 100 times 30 goes on this side, which is 3,000. And that has to equal 35 times x, which goes on this side. Now, I know you're probably saying, does it matter which side it goes on? Yes, it does. Not specifically for these problems, but in the future when we get to other kinds of problems, it's going to matter. So go ahead and make sure that when you do your sweetheart of a deal and you cross multiply and make the pretty little heart, that you do it so that it's this bottom with that top. This line swings around, grabs the 30, and it comes down here. This line swings around, grabs the x, and it comes down here. Okay? So now when I want to finish this out, I have my 3,000 is equal to 35x, and what do I have to do to both sides to get x by itself? Divide by 35. And x is equal to some number, which I don't know because I didn't do these problems ahead of time, and I ain't got no calculator right in front of me. But I can work on it. $3,000 divided by 35 is 85.71. Now, that is not my answer because they were specifically asking for a percent. And I don't want you to jump to 0.8571. And I don't want you to jump to 8571, because you know percents mean you move 2 decimal places. Because in this particular formula, we've already put the 100 in there, so we don't have to move anything. It really is 85.71%. You just got to make sure you put the percent sign on it. That's the part that's hard about this one. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to make sure you've gotten that written down correctly. Then I'm going to erase it and we'll go on to the next one. Okay, these are all on page 154, by the way. Came right out of your book. That way I can use that spot for work. So here they say 150% of what number is 60. So I always start out with my basic look, and 100 is always 100. And it's easier if you always find your percent first, because you know that always has the percent sign on it. So since this is my percent, I write my 150 up there. And then I have my is and my of that I have to worry about. So the only other number they gave me was 60, and it's beside the word is, so it must be my is. And then of is what they asked for, so it must be my x. And now I can cross multiply. When I multiply this way, I get 100 times 60 equals, multiplying this way, 150 times x. Over here, that's 6,000 equals 150x. And then divide both sides by 150. X must equal, calculator, 40. That one didn't ask about a percent. They just wanted a number. So my number is 40. Which means 150% of 40 is 60, which makes sense because it's 1.5. Which is what 150% is, 1.5. Now, if you're asking, can I just do these in my head, if I can do them in my head? Because this one you might kind of could do in your head. And that's fine. As long as you're getting the right answer, I don't care. Fine by me. One more down here. What amount is 8 1/4% of $720? So I'll start out with my same format. Always 100 there. What amount is 8.4% of $720? Look, we got an is beside this, a percent beside this, and an of just the other side. Which one goes with which? If you always pull out your percent first, you'll be able to always fill it in. So this is 8 1/4. Instead of me writing a fraction up there, and since I know I'm going to use the calculator, go ahead and write it as a decimal. You can do that one in your head. 8 1/4 is 8.25. Which means the of must go with the $720. And the is must be what we're looking for, because we got to have an x in there somewhere. So that gives me 100x is equal to 8.25 times 720. $100x equals, yeah, I need a calculator too. $59.40. And then I divide both sides by 100 so I can get the x by itself. and you get x is equal to 59.4. And see, kind of looks like a heart because you come down to that one point. Okay, not exactly. Kind of, not exactly. Okay, so thus endeth section 4.5. Woohoo! Which means we are down to what is your classwork and what is your homework. Aren't you excited about that? Classwork. It's on page 154. Numbers 1 through 11 odd. Out of the practice exercises. And then homework is on page 154. Numbers 13, 19, 23, 25. And that's it. I will see you tomorrow. Well, technically, I won't see you tomorrow. You'll see me. Okay. Bye.